Scarpins Avenue.
Suddenly I find I got darkness on my mind. It's a question.
All right, everybody, welcome once again to Scalabro Country, the virus edition, the Pandy Pods. The
Two guys, one couch.
Two guys, one couch. The Pandemic Pods. I love it. We are back. Hopefully, we're giving you that break that you need in a day. We're
That hand too close?
Yeah, that's the Handy Pods. You're not allowed to cross this cushion right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, see? Stop coughing. God damn it. That's how people die. We're back and we're so happy to be here. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Hopefully you saw us last night on David Spade's show.
Lights Out with David Spade.
He did a remote panel where we were all
From the bunker.
From the bunker. He's at his house and we're all kind of out. I was at my wife's office. No one was there. Jason was at his house. And the best part was, like, there was a moment, if you saw, I don't know if they're going to leave it in there because we record it now and then it's going to air tonight. And when we're recording this, we don't know
yet.
There's just a moment where, like, Jay's there. It was like the British guy who's doing the news report and, like, the baby comes in the wheel.
I was certain I was going to be that dude. The dude who freaks out on the baby that
He
wheels.
didn't freak out on the baby.
He freaked out on
He
his
didn't
wife.
freak out on his wife. The baby just started
Freaking out in the back.
But it was because it was a very serious thing. But your wife just came in and, like, did some laundry in the back, which I thought was really fun.
Hilarious. Fantastic.
We hope you're doing okay and hope you're handling life and things that are going on. There are a lot of mixed messages being sent out there. Let me just give you the sternest message I can give you. Stay inside.
Stay at home.
Stay at home. Be with your family. Enjoy this time with your family. If your kids have homework, depending upon how old they are, you can just say, screw it. Don't do it.
That's a very liberating feeling. When you look at something and you're like, we're not
doing this. We're not doing it.
We're not doing it.
We're not saying openly defy your teachers and whatnot, but we are saying openly defy your teachers.
If we could give you one order, it
Openly,
is to
no.
please openly defy authority.
No.
We order you to do that.
And then I'm asking you to defy our order.
Yes, don't do what we just said.
So openly defy us when we tell you.
Never do what we tell you to do.
Openly defy authority.
We demand that you never do what we tell you to do.
Now, what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and we teased it yesterday, was this in this first segment up to the break. This is going to take us up to the break. Yeah. Want to talk about the Canadian couple.
Oh, boy.
Because you'd never expect a Canadian couple. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
hey,
John Doerr.
John Doerr.
You got to see Brandon. He's getting so big.
We just got our moose hunting. Like, if you are go up and get some moose and eat venison for the
We're
next
up in the cottage. We're self-quarantined.
Yeah.
Brandon's so big, he's got his own cottage.
You don't have to tell us about self-quarantine. We go up to the cottage every December. Don't see a soul for weeks.
Brandon's so big, he killed a hooker.
Yeah. Feels no remorse, John Doerr.
And he's playing Pee Wee hockey, too.
So, Canadian couple, I believe they drove down. I want to say they went to Washington. I don't have all the details, and I probably should.
I don't think they went down to Washington. I think this
Whatever.
happened
They
in
rolled
Canada.
up to a supermarket. And
They blew through a Tim Hortons, eh?
They rolled up through a supermarket.
They thumbed their nose at Tim Hortons coffee.
Yeah, they said.
And if they're going to do that, they're going to get some anger from Connor McDavid fans.
Yeah. They went through, they hip checked the Tim Hortons. They basically did like a figurative hip check of the whole line.
They had to change on the fly.
They jumped over the boards of life, hip checked the whole line, and just went in front of everybody.
Look, right now in Canada, we're doing a dump and chase.
Yeah, you got to dump the puck.
Dump it in the zone, and then we're changing lines all the time.
Then you go in and you forecheck the hell out of this virus.
We're going to do a blue line trap.
Yeah. So they rented a trailer, or they had a trailer, or they got a trailer. They then went and cleaned out the meat freezer
at a local supermarket.
Which, to me, cleaning out the meat freezer.
Do you need a trailer for that?
Well, yes, but that to me sounds like
cleaned out the freezer,
or a bizarre sexual phrase.
I cleaned out her freezer.
He cleaned out her meat freezer. Just feels like it's a lot of. Yeah, it's a lot of freezer burn.
It was a lot of freezer burn. She was frigid. And,
he cleaned out her meat freezer.
She was frigid is not something people say anymore.
He cleaned out her meat freezer. So they came in and cleaned out the meat freezer. She cleaned out his meat freezer. Sounds worse.
So they stop making me cough. So they went to the supermarket. They cleaned out the freezer.
Cleaned out each other's meat freezers.
Now and
then they just butt in front of everyone in line.
Well, and then people were saying they were laughing and loudly exclaiming that they cleaned everyone out.
And they were laughing.
Good luck anyone else trying to get some
And they're
meat
laughing
out.
like, I don't know if we have enough to pay for this. Okay. No one should be laughing in the supermarket. Like, whatever you're spawning out into the world, like, keep the laughter to yourself. Laugh about it later.
The supermarket right now
Should
should feel like the over 21 section in your old video rental store.
just nobody
down.
look at each other.
Don't make eye contact. Act
don't-
like you're not even there.
If you recognize someone, keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. It's embarrassing.
Take it. If you recognize someone at your local grocery store today, take it to your grave.
Take it to the grave.
So
Take it to the grave, by the way, could have been a Doobie Brothers song.
taking it to the
grave. You don't know me, but I recognize you.
You don't know me, but I'm your undertaker.
So these guys cleaned everyone out, then loudly with braggadocio. Braggadocio?
Yeah, in a
Threw it in
braggadocious
people's
way.
faces.
and then drove back up to the cottage.
Oh, and then
Or
they
someone-
got, but people were filming them and they caught some backlash.
They got a huge, healthy, heaping
Dose
dose
of
of
backlash.
So they got a backlash, and basically now they're playing the victims.
Right.
Now the guy's like, I've lost tons of business. Who hasn't lost tons of? We've lost tons of business.
Oh, you're the
And
guy.
guess what?
Oh, you're the guy in this pandemic who's losing a little bit of business.
And it's because you cleaned out the meat locker. The meat locker, by the way, also Oscar-worthy movie. Oscar-worthy porn movie, The Meat Locker.
The meat locker.
The meat locker is the
porn
Hurt-
version of the Hurt Locker.
There you
Yes.
go.
Okay.
You cleaned out you cleaned out the whole meat locker. You cleaned out the someone's meat freezer, and now you're the victim.
Don't buy more than you need.
Yeah, and allow we got to help people in this time. So if you're not helping people, yeah, you are going to get some
Those
backlash.
brothers. Okay, so those brothers who bought all that hand sanitizer, they were down in like Tennessee or something like that, and they got all this backlash. What? And then they turn around and sold it online for like a markup of. We still have to pay all the shipping and all the.
Yeah, like then they're going to be like, but there's the stamps.
And
Not
then
stamps.
No. The answer is no. Like I don't care if you are selling it at equal
So you
amount
wanna
of face value. You cannot hoard stuff at this moment.
So their explanation was this. Did I cross the line? Nope. Kept it on my side.
Yep.
Their explanation was this. We just took an extra can of meat or two. Can of meat?
Is that how they do it in
What?
Canada?
No. What if you're buying meat cans?
Two full carts for two people, and they're not even married. That to me is the reason why. Now,
By the way, who's
this? Is Corey Ryan Forrester. This is why they didn't turn on each other.
Yeah.
Because they're not married yet.
Well, they're not married. If they
If they had been married for like 15, 20 years, they've been like, it was her idea. She thought about it.
if all you were going to do is steal or take one or two extra cans of meat, why rent a trailer?
Yeah. Why use two carts?
Why use two carts?
Why laugh about it? And why tell people, I don't know how we're going to pay for this?
So this is the problem. This is the issue. The self-police. This is why, everybody's like, man, we could have an Autobahn here.
No, you couldn't.
You cannot have an Autobahn here.
I was thinking about this, Rand. This is why
Germans know how to keep their distance on some
And
level
keep
after
their-
World War II.
and keep themselves in line. They self-police in Germany.
Nobody's self-policing you. You allow people to go 100.
That's why
Or just you pick your driving. I know they say they do it in Montana. They don't do it in Montana.
So this is very relevant to a dream I had last night.
Let's hear it.
It was the dream you had like when you wake up at like 5:45 and you have to pee,
I had a
and then
crazy
you're like,
one.
okay, now I've got a little more sleep.
Yeah,
So, and then that is usually your craziest dream of the night.
totally.
My dream was that somebody, and I don't know who it was who proposed this, and then it went into law immediately, was the proposal was a 30% purge. So it wasn't the all the way purge. Like you can't kill anyone. You can't commit like hurtful physical
30%
harm.
purge.
But it's the 30 purge. 30
30 for 30.
30 for 30 purge.
The whole 30.
A 30% purge. And so I was out in the world and I don't know why I was, but
Yeah.
I remember feeling like this is really weird that I'm out in the world and just people were just taking stuff everywhere. Just taking it, not even breaking and I was like, wait, why are you doing that? How can you do that? They're like, it's the
30
30%
purge.
30%
purge.
30% purge.
I'm glad it's not happening yet.
Jeez.
Do not let the 30 purge happen.
We don't need a 30
And by the way,
purge.
the going and cleaning out a meat locker is the beginning of the 30 purge.
Yeah.
This is why we have to have rules and laws. You walk into your supermarket now and
It's
if
more
they're-
than a law, Rand. It's a social contract.
That's right.
We have a social contract.
This is why social norms matter. And so what I say is if this guy's getting grief and he's losing business, good.
Ball don't lie.
Learn your lesson.
Ball don't lie.
The great Rasheed Wallace, you know,
May he rest in peace.
he's not dead, but we just want him to get a good night's sleep.
Because nobody's sleeping these days.
Rasheed Wallace said if you got fouled on a shot and then it was a questionable call and
If they called the foul on Rasheed Wallace or one of his teammates,
and the guy shooting the free throw missed the free throw, he would yell out loudly, "Ball don't lie." Ball don't lie. Meaning the ball's not going to lie. The ball knew that this foul shouldn't have been called.
Yeah.
So guess what? Meat freezer cleaner outer.
Meat freaks,
Ball don't lie.
ball don't lie.
Canadian meat freaks. Ball don't lie.
There you go. And I hope they stay together though. I think they will. I think this.
Well,
this
the couple that cleans out of meat freezers are together.
stays together.
Stays together.
I guess. I mean, that is probably the darkest, most dangerous story out of Canada right now.
I mean, that and Gordon Lightfoot's continued insistence on wanting to go forward with his tour. I heard that Gordon Lightfoot, in his age, he had a younger, way hotter wife, and
That makes sense.
her job,
Her one job.
she had a job in their relationship. How about just let's make each other happy?
Oh, hey, John Doerr, did you hear about Gordon Lightfoot's
Wife's
young
job.
wife?
You heard about her young
She's
wife?
gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
She's a little smaller than Brandon.
Yeah. So her thing is to go out on stage right before Gordon Lightfoot is about to sing, and he's sitting there on his stool, and she sprays his throat with whatever soothing concoction gives him throat sprays because I guess he can't do this to himself.
So
He doesn't have the ability.
Gordon Lightfoot is my.
That is a power move, Jay.
So Gordon Lightfoot is essentially my 6-year-old daughter who has trouble going to sleep. We give her a spritz of melatonin. And so we're like, did you spritz her yet?
You essentially are Gordon Lightfoot's hot wife to your daughter being Gordon Lightfoot.
We just say, did you spritz her yet? She needs a spritz. That's probably what people are saying around Gordon Lightfoot every day. Did you spritz him yet?
Did you spritz
Well,
him
you-
yet?
you
He's
better
acting
go
like
do-
he's acting like you didn't spritz him.
You better go out there.
Go out and spritz
You
him.
better go out there.
All right, and with
Sundown, you better take care.
I've been spritzing back in your bags there. So before we head to break, and we're going to take a little break right now.
Yes.
People are asking us always, what are some great podcasts for you to listen to?
We are
What are some
podcast
other
fans.
ones? Yeah, we're podcast fans as well. We have a bunch that we think you would love, and there are a bunch on the Scarborough Country Network that if you haven't heard them, you've got to listen to them.
Yes.
And we're going to check in with them.
Yes.
Periodically, get messages from them.
Correct.
We love Trey Crowder and Corey, the Redneck guys. They're fantastic. The WellRED guys, they're amazing. I call them the Redneck guys, but they're the WellRED guys.
The WellRED podcast. Corey Forrester has a message.
For you, our listening fans, just to tell you what he and the boys are up to. Check it out, and then we'll take a break.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Corey Ryan Forrester from the WellRED podcast with Drew Morgan and the liberal redneck himself, Trey Crowder, that drops every Wednesday. We're holding up, man, in this quarantine. I hope everybody out there is doing well, too. Like in the podcast world, it hasn't affected us too much because we're used to recording remotely. But I know the boys can't go to the studio because, we're trying to keep everything in lockdown. I'm still here at the house in Georgia trying to keep content coming to you. This Wednesday, we have fan favorite. Honestly, he could replace all three of us at any time. DJ Lewis. Then next week, we're going to be doing a different thing where on Monday, we'll be recording live from Zoom. There will be a live stream that, of course, will... it'll end up going back up on the WellRED podcast feed just like normal. But this is weird, man. This has been some weird times, and I hope you guys are holding up nice, and we're going to try to keep content coming to you. So keep listening to us, keep listening to Scarboroughs, all their good stuff, and we'll see you next time on the WellRED podcast. Skew!
Josephine, some folks see the horizon and never need to know.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. That message before we headed into the break was from Corey Forrester and the WellRED boys. Their podcast is fantastic. It's a dose of, you know, when you hear their voices, you say it's funny to me every time.
It is so funny every time. They are so thoughtful. They're so conscientious.
And they're funny and they're riffy in the same ways that Randy and I hopefully are trying to be funny and riffy, and Dumb People Town is funny and riffy.
Mm-hmm.
They are that way with the issues. They all come from Southern upbringings, and they sound like they would be closed-minded and in some ways
Every time it gets me.
and yet they are
Every
liberal and
time it gets
open-minded and progressive thinkers, and it's a fascinating show.
Great podcast. Check it out. And we are back. And I know this just happened, but I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the Amish beard cutting guy?
The beard cutter.
I'm gonna get the beard cutter's
His name is Sam Mullet.
Sam Mullet.
So he was a guy who in the mid aughts, I think it was like 2010, 2011, 2012. He and his gang of miscreants.
Yeah, his rogue gang.
They would roll up on
the Amish Mafia, so to speak.
They were the Amish Mafia. They'd roll up on someone, and they would someone who they were mad at,
who they believed was not following the letter of the law as sent down by their fearless leader,
and they would cut his beard off. Which to an Amish person is, I mean, that's as bad as it gets. That's
cutting the beard is like
cutting the.
We got to cut beard on this guy.
Yeah, they're
cutting
the power
bait.
Source.
It's like cutting bait. We got to cut beard on this
to
guy.
Cut a beard on an Amish man, and that. You know, that's as disrespectful as it gets. So that guy did jail time. 7 years of jail time.
7 out of 10, and he wants to get out now because of coronavirus.
He's petitioning.
By the way, that's everybody saying that.
Yeah.
Let me just say this.
Anyone in jail right now, everyone in jail is like, man, maybe I should just, I'm going to go home because I don't feel well.
Let me just tell you, coronavirus.
I don't want to give it to these guys.
Coronavirus is the best thing you can get in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Because coronavirus isn't your bunkmate. Coronavirus is just going to come once.
Coronavirus is going to lay dormant for 12 years and then come out again.
Coronavirus is going to come once. Your bunkmate is going to come multiple times.
Many times. So, no, these guys were aggressive. They were going after beards so hard. I think it was
2000.
June of 2000, they broke into Tom Cruise's house and tried to stab Nicole Kidman.
That's too much. That is too much.
Nicole Kidman.
I just love that his last name was Mullet. You know, he's cutting beards in the front and it's a party in the back.
Yeah. The way he's doing it is he's like,
we have
some business propositions, so we got to do some business up front.
And then in the end,
it's a beard cutting party in the back. In my imagination, my estimation, I would love to see two Amish dudes standing around their vehicle and just talking about it like two dudes talking about a muscle car. What do you got? How much horsepower you got in this thing?
I got 1 horse.
One?
I got 1 horse.
It's got 1 horsepower.
He's pretty powerful.
You're rolling with 1 horsepower.
So I'll say this about the Amish Mafia. If they're coming for you, you got about 3 days to get out of the way because they are coming by horse and buggy.
Right.
I just love that what they did was they would cut the beards and they would document it so as to say,
well, other people. They documented.
Someone documented using instant crank cams, like the cameras, instant cameras.
You know what you're saying?
You know those. Like you have to take
disposable cameras.
You have to take the camera to a Walgreens
and then have them develop.
Wait
the
for
film.
7 days. They'll develop the film. They're gonna look through it and see the beard cutting parties.
Remember those old things, the flash cubes?
Yep. And you cranked them, and then you shot them, and then you sent it in, and then they had
really tall like flash cubes.
Those are flash cubes on a very small, thin camera. But these guys
have a disc camera.
So then, what do you do to send a message to everybody else? I guess how do you post those pictures? I guess you nail them to the post of the barn in town. That is posting.
That's their version of posting.
That's posting up a picture of someone getting their beard cut.
This is how anti-technology the Amish are. Really.
How anti-technology are the Amish, Jay?
The Amish are so anti-technology.
Yeah, we can't.
Technology.
This is how anti-technology.
How anti-technology?
They still use Facebook a lot.
Hang on a second. That's too much.
That is too much. Yeah, that story kind of bugs me a little bit. And he's not the only one. There are a lot of people in jail who are saying, "Let me out. Let me out. This is my chance." Cosby, we talked about it on
Spade Show.
On Spade Show. Cosby wants to get out because he's 82. And
Yep.
He doesn't want to get the coronavirus or give it to someone else. At that point, it's like, sorry, dude.
Sorry, man. That's letting you down easy.
Yeah.
I'd rather you filled out your sentence.
Yeah. I hope you don't get the coronavirus too, so you can rot there for a while.
I'll say this because the Amish thing reminded me of something that I'm going to recommend that people watch, which is the ZZ Top documentary.
So the guy's name is Sam Mullet, and he's an Amish dude. And we always remarked, and I know they do it 4 times in this documentary.
They made this joke, but I feel like we made it first and they heard us make it, even though they've probably been making it for years.
It's ironic that the only one who doesn't have a beard in ZZ Top, a long beard.
Mike Beard.
Mike Beard, who's the drummer.
He tried to have a beard at the point when they had beards. Like, my favorite part about this whole documentary, and I couldn't believe it, were the beginning years when Billy Gibbons didn't have a beard.
Didn't have a beard.
He just looked like a weird physics professor on stage. And he was just like this they kind of
You understood why he was looking for some tush?
He was looking for some tush.
Yeah, those
but
guys.
They were LaGrange but they weren't even they weren't them at that point. It was a great documentary because my favorite part was Mike Beard. How many drugs Mike Beard did, and at this point, the fact that he's still alive, his lack of understanding of how bad doing
self-reflection and self-awareness
on how bad doing drugs actually is.
Yeah.
So you'd ask him. And they asked him, I'm sure they asked him, what was it like doing all those drugs? And he was like, I just loved heroin.
And you're like,
okay, you should
so,
say,
but how did it make you feel now when you look back on that part of your life?
It was just fun. I just loved doing heroin.
Clearly, though, you made some mistakes in your life.
I snorted cocaine and all of it, and it was great. It was like a party.
Well, yeah, obviously in the moment, but
it was fun. We had a good time.
But you felt bad about it.
Had a great time. Had a great time.
Relationships that were broken.
Spent all my money. It was fun. It was great. If you get a chance, he was one step away from saying, if you get a chance to do heroin, have at it.
Try it. You'll like it.
That was Mike Beard throughout this documentary, and I could not believe it.
That's a good recommendation. That's a
good one. It was a ZZ Top documentary. I can't even remember.
And Ren, you watched McMillions.
I did finally watch McMillions.
Fantastic.
All the way to the end.
Ooh, it's so good.
Uncle Jerry. What a jerk.
You know what's so funny?
He did not get enough. I feel like.
But it was the timing of that thing, the timing of that documentary, the timing of what happened in our history.
Doug Matthews. I want to hang out with Doug Matthews.
Doug Matthews, he's such a cool dude.
Doug Matthews was the best. Undercover Doug. Hey, man, let's go undercover. Doug, this is the company picnic. Why do you want to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think we can pull this off.
Let's get it, man. That was my favorite.
That guy just wanted to be undercover.
He walked in and he was like, man, the coffee at McDonald's was great. It was awesome. You're like, all right, Doug. All right, Doug.
Okay, buddy.
Listen, before we, that's it. That's it. We're just giving you a little taste today. I hope this is fun. I hope you're enjoying this. Sometimes it'll be 25 minutes, sometimes 30. We'll try and keep it in the range of your daily walk.
Do we have a voicemail, Rand?
We do have a voicemail. That's right. Before we get out of here, I want to send a voicemail to you guys from, do we have another one? Do we have Nick Cage?
I think it's another Nick Cage voicemail.
All right. We're going to play this Nick Cage voicemail for you. So enjoy it.
Jason, Randy, guys, look, I got a bit of a problem at the moment. Now that I'm no longer able to go outside except when I'm riding my motorcycle really fucking fast, I'm having a hard time getting all of my movies in. I have to put myself on tape. I'm Nicolas Cage. I'm constantly shooting movies. I've got so many movies currently in development right now, and I refuse to let anything stop me from making my movies because I've got bills to pay, and I've got islands to pay for, and dinosaur bones to display properly throughout my home. So look, I need to find some way to upload videos from my iPhone directly and send them directly to Netflix. Do you guys know how I can do that? I've just been sitting at home and just taking my iPhone and just making my own movies. All of which are great. They usually involve me playing some sort of person who is leaving hell, needs to get on a motorcycle to exact revenge on something, whether it's a lost kid or some sort of like friend who's been killed and he has to exact vengeance on someone. Yeah, it's awesome. But look, if you're worried about like, hey, Nicolas Cage, you're by yourself, how are you going to be able to make movies? Well, guess what? Nick Cage plays every part. Yeah! Guys, look, I just need, if you have any sort of clue of how you can get me in touch with Ted Sarandos, that would be amazing. I'm sure he's at home because we're all at home. Make sure at home. If you're not at home, get the fuck at home. Now listen, seriously. I just want to make sure that there's a constant stream of Nicolas Cage movies that are being put out into the public because, you know, guys, like I said, I've got dinosaur bones. I've got a skull that I need to get affixed onto a cane so I can walk around my house and make sure that I've got a proper cane because what am I, a fucking animal? Every single person needs a cane with a skull on it. Come on, guys, look, let's just make this happen. Guys, Netflix, Quibi, Amazon Prime, if you can get me in touch with Bezos, Brian Grazer, whatever, I know you scholars are good for it, but just, you know, hook a cage up. Yeah, I should put that in one of my movies. All right, I'm going to get back to shooting a movie. Bye, guys.
We love you guys. We're out, and just take care of each other.
Be safe. Stay inside. Punch a water faucet.
Punch a water faucet.
Waterfall.
That's it.
And take care of yourselves. We want to see you every single day. Tell 10 friends about us. Rate us. Rate the show if you haven't. Review it. Subscribe to it. All those things help us stay on the charts and let people know that we're out there because our goal is to get this to as many people as possible. And that's about it.
Thanks. Bye.
For goodness sake.